In a remote mountain village, nestled between dense forests and crystal-clear rivers, there stood a quiet monastery known for its teachings of enlightenment and compassion. Monks from all over the land traveled to this sacred place to meditate and learn the art of inner peace. Among them was a young monk named Tao, a man full of potential yet burdened by doubts and insecurities. Though he had devoted his life to spiritual practice, Tao often felt restless, unable to grasp the true essence of peace. One day, as twilight began to settle and the skies darkened into shades of purple and orange, the head monk summoned Tao for a special task. "There is a lantern," the elder monk said, "that lights our village paths at night. But tonight, it has gone out. You must travel to the far edge of the forest to relight it. Be mindful of the darkness within you, as well as the darkness outside. It is not only the flame you must tend to." Tao bowed deeply, accepting the task. As he began his journey, the night grew colder, and shadows crept around him, pressing in from all sides. His mind, too, was unsettled. Why did they send me? Tao thought, what if I fail? What if I can't find the lantern? What if I am not worthy of this journey? Doubt clung to him like a heavy cloak as he made his way deeper into the forest. Just as he began to feel completely alone, a rustling came from the bushes. Tao froze, his heart pounding in his chest. From the shadows, a man emerged, thin, ragged, and with a sharp, cunning look in his eyes. His clothes were torn, and his face bore the roughness of a life lived on the edges of law and morality. A monk, wandering alone in the night, the man sneered, stepping closer. "What brings you out here, all alone?" Tao, though frightened, stood his ground. "I seek a lantern that must be relit," he replied calmly, though his hands trembled slightly. "The light guides our people through the darkness." The man laughed, but there was no joy in it. "Light, you say? There is no light in this world, monk, only what we take for ourselves. And tonight, I'll take what you have." Before Tao could react, the man grabbed him, searching his robes for anything of value. The monk carried no riches, only a few humble belongings: a prayer bead bracelet, a small wooden charm, and the monk's staff. The thief, frustrated by the lack of material wealth, threw the monk's staff into the bushes and sneered. "I don't have much," Tao said softly, "but I can offer you something more valuable. Join me on my journey. Walk with me to the lantern, and I'll show you something greater than gold." The thief's eyes narrowed in suspicion. "You think I'm a fool?" "No," Tao replied, "but I think you are searching for something too." There was a moment of silence. The thief, though hardened, was intrigued by the monk's calmness in the face of danger. "Fine," the thief growled, "but if you try anything, monk, I'll take more than your beads." They began walking, side by side, though the air between them was thick with tension. Tao, though still uncertain, felt something shift within him. Perhaps it was the vulnerability of the situation or the simple act of facing his fear, but he found that his mind was quieter now. The thief, on the other hand, couldn't understand why this monk hadn't fought back or tried to run. As they continued deeper into the forest, they came to a clearing. In the center stood the lantern, a grand, old structure, its flame long extinguished. Tao approached it reverently, kneeling before it, but the thief remained at a distance, watching with skeptical eyes. "You said this light guides people?" the thief asked, crossing his arms. "How can a lantern, in the middle of the woods, help anyone?" Tao didn't answer immediately. He struck a flint, lighting a small flame, which he carefully placed inside the lantern. As the fire caught, the lantern began to glow, casting a soft, warm light that illuminated the clearing and pushed back the darkness. "This lantern," Tao said finally, "is like the spirit within us. It can burn brightly and guide others, but only if we tend to it. The world can be dark, yes, but the darkness is not all there is. The thief scoffed, but something in his expression softened. You monks always speak in riddles. Not riddles, Tao said gently, but truths we often overlook. You think the world is only about taking because you have been taught that's how you survive. But what if the light you're searching for isn't something you can steal? What if it's something you already have within you? The thief was silent. He wanted to mock the monk, to laugh at him for his naivety, but he couldn't. For so long, the thief had lived in the shadows, convinced that the world was cruel, and that the only way to survive was to be crueler. Yet here was this monk, who had every reason to hate him or fear him, offering him something different. As the lantern's light flickered and danced, the thief felt a strange warmth in his chest, a feeling he hadn't known in years. He remembered a time, long ago, before he had become what he was now, when he had believed in kindness and hope. But life had beaten those things out of him, or so he thought. I don't know how to be anything else, the thief muttered, more to himself than to Tao. Tao smiled gently. The light within you has never truly gone out. You just need to tend to it. For the first time in years, the thief felt tears well in his eyes, though he quickly wiped them away. He didn't say anything more, but as they walked back to the village together, the thief no longer felt the need to steal, to take, or to hurt. Instead, he found himself listening to the monk's quiet wisdom, feeling the light of the lantern, and perhaps the beginnings of a new path for himself. When they arrived back at the village, the thief paused at the entrance. I can't stay here, he said, his voice low. I understand, Tao replied. Your journey is your own. But know that the light is always with you, even if you wander far from here. The thief nodded, and without another word, he disappeared into the night, though the darkness didn't seem so heavy anymore. As Tao returned to the monastery, the head monk greeted him. Did you relight the lantern? The elder asked. Yes, Tao said, bowing deeply, and I found something greater than light along the way. Life lesson. True light and transformation come not from external achievements, but from within. Even in the darkest places, there is potential for growth, redemption, and change. By tending to the light within ourselves, we can guide others and find peace, even in the most unlikely of places.